Hey love, I'm starting a couple of kind of FAQ videos about herpes, and I thought that a really great place to start that I get asked a lot of questions is about my very first outbreak that I had. With HSV2 especially, people say that the first outbreak is the worst, and the reason for that is because it's the first time that your body is being exposed to something and it wants to find a way to develop antibodies to that thing. So a lot of the times what you're going to experience is some really intense symptoms that your body doesn't have any guards, like you haven't developed any bodyguards, literal, actual body guards against, I've never thought of that before. It's new. I know, I'm extremely witty and punny, aren't I? Okay, so your body hasn't developed bodyguards yet against the foreign invaders, essentially. And what happens is it's kind of like all hell breaks loose. And if you develop other kinds of symptoms, such as like maybe a little bit of a fever, or maybe some kind of like headache or nausea, or other like flu type symptoms, it's because your body is rushing blood throughout your whole everything and needs to like ask more, ask your brain to put in a little bit more effort. It's asking your whole nervous system to put in a little bit more effort into what has never been there before. The virus itself, the herpes simplex virus, lives in your nervous system. And specifically, if you have genital herpes, it lives in your sacrum. It lives in your lower spine and that sort of like cluster of nerves. And that's where, the virus goes to live. And that's why, whenever you have, like I said, a first outbreak, your nervous system is like, okay, red alert. We need all systems checked. We need to use everything that we possibly can to fight this thing. And my very first outbreak was, I would say it probably lasted about a week, and what it looked like for me was it felt almost like a tiny little bit of like a yeast infection. It felt kind of like a little bit of an itching happening around my labia and in kind of like the crease between like my vulva and my labia, as well as I guess probably the primary point of contact where my skin touched the person who gave it to me. Their skin was on my perineum, and that is the area of skin that's between your genitals and your booty hole. So it's called the perineum, but I've heard of it as the taint because it taints your pussy and it taints your ass. Either it's right in the middle. So I got a lesion in that area, and it's basically like, it's something that I've never been able to see for myself. And I've done a couple of like self checks with mirrors whenever I've had an outbreak and whenever it's like been present. But I've never been able to see it for myself. And the one time that I was like, okay, it's happening right now, like, let me go to the doctor, to get it checked while it's, while it's present, so they can look at it, because they can get a better view than I can trying to do a little, that was for me, my very first outbreak. And a lesion, if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a cut. It's like a little tear in the skin. And the reason I knew it was there is because whenever I would go to the bathroom and I would wipe, on the tissue paper would be a little speck of blood. I'd be like, this doesn't make sense because I'm seeing blood and I don't have my period. But also, like, is it because I'm about to get my period and maybe my immune system is low or weak because it's focusing on breaking down all of the tissues that haven't been used in my sacrum area, in my uterine lining? Is it because I've been wearing a lot of thongs recently, or because I've been wearing a lot of underwear that's like synthetic, and maybe my body is just like having some kind of reaction to all of these things combined? So I was making up like a lot of reasons and a lot of excuses for what it might be. However, when I actually went to the doctor, he was like, yeah, this is what it looks like, HSV. It looks like herpes. So, my first outbreak lasted about a week, I would say, but it wasn't until my like third or fourth outbreak that I actually went to the doctor to get it checked out. So my first outbreak was, maybe I wouldn't say like the worst, but it was definitely the longest, and it had the most like obvious effects where I was like, it was kind of like every day for like 4, 5, maybe 6 days that I would like wipe and I would see like the speck of blood and I would be like, when is this going away? Do I need to put ointment on this shit to get rid of it? I don't know. But I would say that the itching that I experienced wasn't even like the worst. It was probably the worst in later ones when the lesion wasn't apparent, and there were times when there was like just the itching. But yeah, that's kind of like my whole summary of what a first outbreak experience is like as it happens in your body, as well as what my first outbreak experience was like for me. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. If you have any other questions and you would like me to answer them from my personal viewpoint, as well as from all of the research that I have done for myself, please let me know, like, in the comments below, or hit me up on my Instagram, V_FOR_vibrant, V for vibrant, and DM me. Let me know what you would like me to talk about and answer, because I would love to really be there for all of the people who are dealing with this for the first time ever. You're not alone. You're deserving of all the love you desire, and you're a wonderful person no matter what you're going through. I love you. Mwah. And until next time.